Alright guys, it's the next day and the batons have had the weight taken off and they are stuck down. Well, they're not completely stuck down. The glue is still a little soft, but it's holding the batons exactly where they need to be. Oh, welcome back my DIY nomads. We're back again for another episode. We're working on the Mercedes Sprinter. We had a super mental day yesterday. I'm really chuffed with how much we got done in one day. I totally understand it was with two people, but obviously a job's going to go a lot faster if you're doing a van conversion yourself and you can get a friend roped in, or if like you and another friend both have a van conversion, like you each have a van, you're going to do them up together. Perfect. Get some more people in on the show. It will speed up the process dramatically, but also you can have a lot of fun with it as well. Yeah, so we managed to get the windows put in on both sides, the roof vent put in, the floor battens cut and stuck in as well. I'm really excited to be doing a Sprinter on the channel because I know it's a very popular van to convert. So please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Sorry, I just need to turn our radio off. Yeah, we are working on the Sprinter today. Really excited. We've got most of the insulation. The other part of the insulation is arriving tomorrow. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at insulating the floor, getting it taped up, vapor barrieing it, putting the floor back in, then putting in the expanded polystyrene board insulation into the walls and the ceiling, and using some expanding foam to sort of like glue those in place, but also fill some hard to get places. And then we're getting some recycled plastic bottle insulation tomorrow that we're going to put into the really tricky spaces that, you know, just cutting up the boards just going to be a complete waste of material at time, and it's just going to be a nightmare. I'll also talk to you about what setup I have in my Boxer currently, why we've gone for this setup in this van. I mean, it's not really that different, but yeah, let's get into it. Like a glove. Nice. All the pieces going in really well. There are some that obviously need like corners cut off where there's like a curve in the metal, and some need just like the tiniest bit of basically sanding down on one edge just to slot in perfectly. But other than that, cracking along. All the EPS insulation is in. Now the reason we went for this was mainly budget. This stuff, although isn't as good as PIR or Celotex as the brand name goes, it's still a very good insulator, but this is £8 a sheet, whereas the same equivalent in PIR is 24 quid a sheet. So we're saving an absolute boatload of money by getting it for the walls, this floor and the ceiling. Also, one thing to remember, if you do choose this stuff, we've put the battens at about 300mm distance each to the centres. Now, I wouldn't go any bigger than that because this stuff isn't as like, with PIR you can basically stand on it and it's absolutely fine. This doesn't have that sort of density, sort of that strength that you could do that with. So this is another disadvantage to this foam, but really it's not too bad because this is all in, we're going to tape it up, vapor barrier it, put the floor in, and once the floor's in, we never have to worry about it ever again. Like, it's absolutely fine. all we have to do is fill in a few little triangle areas like over here, and then we can start taping. The double bubble foil insulation is going in. We're going to do this one main sheet that's in line with the step here. Cut a small sliver for around the wheel arch, another small sliver for over there, and that's the whole floor done, ready to take the put the original sort of ply floor back in. Well, boom! We are cracking on with the double bubble foil vapor barrier floor. So I haven't really shown much of this process. It's a bit tricky to film, but we're going to get the original ply floor back in here, screw it down into the battens, got a solid floor to work on, and then we can get really cracking on with the insulation in the walls and the ceiling. Cool. Beauty. So interestingly, when we put the floor back in, it was actually like bowed, it was like bananaed a little bit, cupped, sorry. And we use some like tyres we have just to weigh down the sides, and also these basically drywall ceiling jacks to pin down the sides as well. And now we screwed all of this side. We measured back from the front all of the joist locations and drew lines so we'd know where to drill and screw into. And now we're just going to knock the front, because where the two join, there's like this aluminium H, it looks like an H on the side, H bar or whatever, so the two bits slot together, and we just need to knock it back in so that it's proper flush. There you go. Guys, we are flying. We've got the floor in, it's screwed down, which is super good news. Now what we're going to do is we've got this, it's actually the brand name stuff, like the Silent Coat, which is like the quite expensive stuff. It's basically anti-vibration, it's like this sort of noise dampening, very thick, well I say very thick, it's very dense pads, and basically probably seen them on a few van conversions. You stick them onto like large sheety areas of the steel, and it's meant to reduce the vibration, reduce the road noise while you're driving and other stuff like that. So we've got these little panels and we're going to stick them into these smaller areas, a few on the roof. We don't have a lot of these, we're just going to use them frugally, but it will do something. So we would like to, you know, have loads and loads and do an absolute crap ton of these, but it's very expensive stuff, but also we don't have a lot of it left. But we thought we'd use this up just to add something for the customer while he's, you know, doing those long journeys. It's like a much shorter, much less of a ring. You hear that like long ring compared to, so way better, way better. Guys, we're being very frugal with this stuff, and it is making an incredible difference to the sound in the van actually. I'm really, really impressed with this stuff. So we're going to basically put up the first few sheets of the roof insulation. It's the same stuff, it's the EPS 25mm thick, and yeah, we're going to use expanding foam to sort of stick it up there, and then we're going to use batons that will screw to the ribs, but will have like they're like wider than the rib, so that they basically lip over the insulation and keep the boards up there. Oh, like a glove. Ben's made a few marks on the board there so that he knows that he doesn't drill through. So he doesn't drill through one of the holes that's already in one of the ribs. So this is what we mean. So we've got the EPS in, and then it's held in place with these batons that we are flexing, and then using metal tapping screws to screw into the ribs. There we go. This will give us really adequate places to screw the cladding in when we get to that point.
I want you in my room.